Are you currently posting on social media but not really moving the needle when it comes to prospecting or lead generation? Well, chances are it's because your message is just not resonating. And chances are it's not resonating because your messaging looks very, very canned. And if you continue to send out this type of messaging, all that's gonna happen is you're just gonna continue to look like everybody else on the playing field, more of the same. And the last thing you wanna do is be wasting a bunch of time, money, and effort on something that really isn't generating you a proper return on investment. Emmanuel here, and in today's video, I wanna talk about developing your real estate brand voice so that you can start generating some conversations with some new prospects. All right, so many of you are probably thinking, what the heck is brand voice? Well, the easiest way to describe it is the personality and the emotion infused to the things that you share in the marketplace. And in this particular case, it's probably the things that you share on social media. You see, there is this basic principle that is being thrown out there, and that is if you post on social media, you're going to get clients. While factually this is 110% true, the reality is there are a lot of people in the marketplace. And if you're not able to separate yourself from the pack, you're gonna end up really blending in and looking just like every other real estate agent out there. Think of it this way, and maybe you've heard this analogy in another previous video that I posted, and it's the one about the taste testers testing out the different types of soda. You see, in a blind taste test, when people tried Pepsi and Coke, the majority of them were not truly able to tell the difference. But when the testers were asked which do they prefer, the majority of them actually said Coke. And you have to understand that Coke did this by design because all of that brand messaging that's thrown out there into the marketing ecosystem is really designed to emulate familiarity, integrity, as well as trust. Now you can reference this exact same strategy to really pretty much anything that you're trying to post online. As of right now, you essentially taste like every other soda out there, but it's really your job to start separating yourself from the pack. And of course you do this by developing your own brand voice. Now, before I get into the skinny of the strategy and the tactics for this particular video, you guys know the deal. Make sure you click the like button, the subscribe button, the bell icon. You know it appeases the algorithms, and thank you so much in advance. So in terms of developing that brand voice that you really need to start standing out in the marketplace, you really need to start by defining your personality. Are you introverted? Are you extroverted? Do you like sports? Do you like to travel? Do you like to go outside? Do you enjoy hikes? You need to kind of define this in order to develop your own unique voice. So that really is kind of the sweet spot in terms of understanding what makes you unique. Now, this is actually one of the things I like to do with all of my clients when I'm trying to help them, walk through what exactly their brand voice is. We go through this exercise by sitting down and obviously time blocking maybe 5 or 10 minutes and really start jotting down the things that really resonate with them. Now, after creating this list of kind of things that resonate or that you like, you start to see patterns. And then once you start seeing those patterns, you start connecting the dots. And after you start connecting those dots, you start to visually see what your brand voice is going to look like. All right, so let me hop into my iPad and kind of show you this exercise that I'm referring to. And I'm gonna give you kind of a high level overview of how exactly this works. All right, so the basic principle behind this, and really the objective of this exercise, is that you need to define your USP or your unique selling proposition. And the way that you really define that is by identifying your brand voice in really the real estate marketplace to help you stand out. So for the sake of time and really not trying to start on a blank canvas, what I did here was I gave you a fictional real estate agent. Her name is Janet. Now, the goal for Janet is that we want to start trying to find patterns in terms of things that she likes so that she can start to define her brand voice. Now, if we start looking at this exercise here, we can see that she likes real estate, she likes plants, she has an affinity toward mid-century modern architecture, she's a follower in astrology, she likes dogs, she likes traveling, beaches, helping people, fitness, and health. She's into hiking, and she's also into DIY/arts and crafts. So the idea here is that now that we have a list of things that Janet likes, we want to start trying to figure out patterns and kind of connecting dots to see what she could potentially be sharing in the marketplace to really make her stand out and really kind of define that USP. So for example's sake, we're gonna start with real estate, but we also want to start to try to kind of weave in things that she likes to help identify that unique voice. So maybe let's kind of start with the obvious. So really now let's start trying to connect the dots and see if we can kind of develop a unique voice for Janet. Let's say that in addition to real estate, she likes mid-century architecture and she likes DIY crafts. And let's say she is also really big into maybe plants. So maybe the sweet spot here can be that she obviously is promoting herself as a real estate agent. So she's all about real estate, and maybe she can start weaving in kind of a thread of DIY crafts that resonate in developing mid-century modern furniture and architecture, or really with that theme. And really trying to help people identify mid-century kind of trends as they start moving into new places. And of course, maybe weaving in, plants into that equation to really help the customers or her customers identify, okay, if you're going for this look with this particular type of mid-century style, here are some DIY crafts that you can implement, as well as maybe some plants that really resonate with that kind of motif that would make your home look the way you want it to look. Now let's start over again and maybe let's connect some new dots. Maybe we can find a new narrative that can help Janet out, really to stand out in the marketplace. So in this case, let's say that in addition to real estate, she's also really big into astrology as well as helping people. Well, maybe the narrative for her could be, hey, I'm a real estate agent, but I believe in astrology, and really, depending on your astrological sign, this is the best time to be doing that. This is the best time to be saving money. This is the best time to be purchasing, maybe because of your, because of your astrological sign, or because of the way kind of the stars align. Maybe this is the time to hold off on purchasing, and maybe you need to wait, and maybe kind of pivoting her angle that way. Now let's try one more exercise in building out a unique story or narrative based off of what Janet likes. And in this case, let's say that she's all about dogs, she's all about beaches, she's all about health, and she's all about hiking. Well, maybe her angle could be that she's a real estate agent that loves being in the outdoors and health and fitness, as well as animals and pets. And maybe she is all about, taking her dog out for long walks and building a community about people that like going out and exercising and, bringing their pets while they exercise. And she's kind of the definitive real estate expert within that community. So the idea here is that you want to be able to identify the patterns and the things that you like so that you can start bringing that to the marketplace. And that really is going to start helping you define your brand voice. So let's hear it, guys. I want to know what your particular brand voice is after going through this exercise. Leave it in the comment section below. I'm all about it. I'm all about supporting you. Let me know what you guys come up with. Let's come up with some unique kind of propositions to put into the marketplace. Now, just as a heads up, this isn't going to resonate right off the bat with your audience. You're going to have to kind of tinker with this a little bit to really get to the point where you want to be. So it's going to require a lot of testing of your messaging. But really the key here, and in essence, the kicker here, is that once you've identified your voice, you're going to realize that this is going to be unique to you. Now, once you get into the marketplace and you really start promoting yourself using your identified voice and really talking about the things that you like and that you're familiar with, it's going to start resonating with prospects that find your voice captivating. And then from there, you're going to see very quickly that people are going to want to start talking to you and working with you because you're bringing something completely unique to the marketplace. By the way, one of the things I highly recommend that you do not do is contracting out your brand voice. This essentially means that you should not be hiring a VA or a company to be sending out all of your messaging to the marketplace. To tell you the truth, many of the reasons why you're not really generating any new prospects is really because of this. You've outsourced your voice, you've outsourced your marketing. Now, unless you have a massive budget where you can essentially allocate 7 figures toward your marketing kind of campaigns per month, really the idea of cheapening out your marketing message is just gonna be a really big waste of money. At the end of the day, these VAs or executive assistants or companies that you hire cannot speak on your behalf, and they really can't relay your expertise. Really, only you can do that, my friend. A person in India or in the Philippines, much less anywhere in the world, only knows so much about real estate, but it cannot compare to the experience that you have, the repetitions that you've done to really amass the knowledge that makes you the really expert. However, one thing you can do is you can create the content and then subcontract out the fulfillment of that content to maybe a VA or a third-party company. In essence, what you're doing is you're creating the messaging, you're creating the post, you're creating the video, and then it's, that other person that you delegate, it's their job to get the message out there. So maybe I can use the example of you're creating a YouTube video. So you just record the YouTube video and then you hire a company to edit it and really post it on all your social media platforms. Now, I want to let you guys in on a little bit of a secret / pro tip. And that is, if you continue to show up to the marketplace daily, but in addition to that, also post using your own voice, you're gonna find that you're gonna be able to establish yourself and get a lot more prospects very, very quickly. But the key here is that you gotta show up and that you got to create your own content. Now, one of the great influencers in the real estate industry, really the founder of Keller Williams, Gary Keller, in one of his books, The One Thing, he references the compounding effect in essentially that you want to make little micro daily improvements, and over time those little micro improvements start compounding and then turn into a really big thing. And that, my friends, is exactly what we're trying to do in terms of investing in yourself and really building out your brand voice on social media. You see, the social media game and you really generating leads, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take a lot of repetition and some time and really consistency. But the secret sauce here is that you want to be continually making micro improvements daily, or really allocating a little bit of time daily to put out content and really publish it out there in the marketplace, really yourself, so that people will start recognizing who exactly you are. Now, one of the hacks that we actually give to all of our clients is that this micro improvement doesn't really take a lot of time or really need or garner that much time. All you really need to do, and all we really ask of you, is 30 minutes or less. That's right, only 30 minutes or less of spending your time creating content on a daily basis is really the sweet spot that you really need to implement so that you can start moving the needle. And then you'll see over time and over the repetitions, over several weeks, or maybe even after a few months, people are gonna start commenting on your posts, they're gonna start liking it, and you're gonna be able to start a lot more conversations with these prospects. All right, guys, I hope you found some value in this video, but I just want to end by emphasizing the fact that this is a vitally important factor that you need to take into consideration if you really want to start generating leads online. And really, stop looking like everybody else and start looking more uniquely like you. That being said, I invite you to join the conversation. We're all about building our own unique voice. And if you want to start that conversation and really hop into it, please, link below. Join our Facebook group. It's all about really trying to identify ourselves as that USP or unique selling proposition in the marketplace. But of course, if you're looking for a framework, a playbook, a checklist of exactly what you need to be doing really on the digital marketing spectrum so that you can start generating leads online, then I highly recommend that you schedule a strategy session with myself or someone from my team. Link in the description below as well. I will be happy, and my team will be happy, to provide you with some information in terms of a step-by-step solution to really get you from where you are now to where you want to be. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you on the next video.